Good morning, Krusty Crew. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new 2024 LEGO Dreamzzz sets. LEGO did send these early to us for review, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. Nice. In total, LEGO's releasing 5 new sets for this wave, so I'm pretty excited to get into this. I'm a pretty big fan of the box art on these sets. I have a few Dreamzzz sets and I think they're just awesome. So stay tuned and don't fall asleep. Let's check it out.
Matteos Off Road Car.
Kicking this off with Matteos Off Road Car. You can see here a very simple build. It's kind of cute. I really like these grand translucent pieces to it. And it's a car, you know? That's pretty much what you're gonna get with this set. It comes with 4 wheels, doesn't have a lot of pieces, which would be really good for gift or like for a stocking stuffer kind of thing. Something I really like though is this tiny little Z blob hanging out on the back. You know me, I'm a big fan of Z blob. It actually comes with a little extra printed Z blob as well. And then here's Matteo. I think he's a pretty cool figure. I really love his dual molded legs there, and he does have a back print where he's kind of happy and this one where he seems very ambitious. Right? I'd say that's an ambitious face. And then kind of as a second figure, you get this little eye thing. He kind of looks cute. I love these things because they remind me of the eye of Sauron. And I think in total there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces to this build. The little feature he has is that he's supposed to steal this hourglass thing. I'm assuming this has something to do with the whole like sleeping dream Sandman kind of whole trope. And yeah, so he can essentially pick up the hourglass and fly away, and Z-Blob and Matteo need to chase him. Now something that's super weird about these Dreamzzz sets is that in the instructions you can actually decide to go between 2 different ways. So you see here, I went with the top portion and I built that car, but you can actually skip ahead and build a helicopter version. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. Okay, so that took about 5 minutes, and there you go. There's a little helicopter. Matteo's flying away. Not much more to this set, really. It is pretty cool that you can change it into 2 different things, and I guess it's nice that maybe you're like chasing this little eye monster thing, and you can transform his car into a helicopter and chase him into the air, right? Something else I wanted to point out is that there's this interesting sticker sheet. There's actually a bunch of stickers down here that don't have numbers on them, and there's nowhere in the instructions that tells you what to do with them. So I guess they are yours to keep. You can go ahead and put it on your MacBook Pro or your water bottle.
Izzys Narwal Hot Air Balloon.
Taking a look at Izzys Hot Air Balloon, I just absolutely love this set. Check it out. You can make it like do that, kind of like Pac-Man, and I just think that just makes this set the best. So the idea behind this set is that Izzy is taking a nap there, and in her dreams, she's hanging out with her little stuffed rabbit that we've seen in other sets in the past. And this little monkey creature thing uses, I'm assuming, a possessed carrot to steal the rabbit from her. She gets really sad about it, but luckily a narwhal comes to her aid, and you're either able to make a hot air balloon or a chariot, and you can take this flying narwhal into the air to chase after the rabbit, so that's pretty cute. Taking a look at the figures, you come with Izzy. Izzy is just like a stacked looking figure. She's got the dual molding here, she's got insane prints, toe prints. The torso print's pretty cool, both front and back. She has this magnificent looking translucent hair, as well as this translucent sword. LEGO spared no expense when it came to the Dreamzzz sets. Now this is called a Grim Spawn, and it looks like some sort of flying demon monkey thing. And for some reason it came with this little lavender carrot with a little claw on the end so it can grab this rabbit. I don't know if that's because the LEGO designers thought it'd be too hard to put the rabbit in the hands of the little demon thing, but I don't think it's actually that bad. If you look at that, you can actually put the rabbit in without the carrot. I'm not sure what the carrot's about. I'd love to know a little bit more about this lavender carrot, but until then, we're just gonna go with it. Now for the set itself, there was only 3 bags in this set, and the first 2 bags were really just the narwhal. For the 3rd bag, you have the option of building this little hot air balloon chassis, or you can make a chariot chassis, which we'll build here in a minute. Not a lot of pieces involved here. It only took me about 5 minutes to build this bottom part, and probably in total 10 minutes to build the entire set, so that's kind of fun. I do like that they use the blue leaves that you see in the Donkey Kong sets as fins for the narwhal. I think that's a really good idea, and it just goes really well with it. Now the set is a really simple build, but it more than makes up for it with how cute it is. Look at that, look at that. It's like in that movie Elf when he's like, "Bye buddy, I hope you find your dad." I love narwhals. Okay, so now taking a look at the alternate build here, I gotta say I'm not as big of a fan of this one as the original one. I do like the idea of the little chariot rushing through like that is pretty fun. But as you can see, it has this like weird effect where when you plug in the back of the chariot to the tail of the whale, the back flippers there have to be upright, and if you want to like maybe bring them down, it kind of leaves Izzy quite literally hanging down there. So just because of that, I would say I would prefer the hot air balloon configuration over it. But still, nothing changes with the Narwal. Everything looks hunky-dory.
MrSaurus Space Car.
Now taking a look at Ozs Space Car. This is a really interesting set for a number of reasons. So this set actually comes with paper bags. We saw paper bags also in the Cat Owl set. So it is cool to see that LEGO is actually, you know, trying to keep with their commitment of going plasticless, which is ironic because it's a plastic brick. Anyways, they're trying really hard to go plasticless for these bags by like, I think it was 2025. We'll see if they make it, but we're starting to see a change. The funny part was there were actually like tiny little plastic bags inside, but there were also some small paper versions as well. Anyways, so taking a look at MrSaurus Space Car, right off the bat, I think just inherently, it's actually a really cool looking car. You know, minus the space parts in general. So the idea is that you can build bags 1 and 2, and it'll actually just build the normal car, which I'll show you in a bit. And then you can decide with bag 3, you can soup it up and you can put on all of these like crazy engines and make it kind of a flying car. Or you could use bag 2, which makes it into more like a Mars rover looking thing, but we'll talk about that later as well. The set comes with 2 minifigures, Mr. Oz, which I think looks really cool. I gotta say, this guy really reminds me of just one of those old AFOLs you meet at LEGO conventions. If you've been to a LEGO convention, you've definitely seen guys like this. They are super nice, super cool dudes, but they just really, really love classic space. And that's what this guy's all about. A lot of credit goes to this figure. If you take off his beard, you can see that his printed beard is actually silver, which is cool. He doesn't have dual-sided face, which I don't think you really need it. And I really like that little printed piece you could put on the armor. Now, if I take off his head and armor, you can see he almost has like an Iron Man looking torso print, which is really cool. Same on the back. I'm gonna have to say Mr. Oz here is probably my favorite figure of this series. And this is Jaden. Jaden is just a kid trying to get some good sleep. Jaden's also really into personal and oral hygiene, as you can tell from here. He has the little mouth guard things. I don't think I've ever seen this like in pop culture reference for like 30 years. So it's kind of funny that like LEGO has this kind of like mouth guard style thing where it goes around the face. I think they've updated a lot of these mouth guards where you don't need to do that. Also kind of looks like Jaden has like a Harry Potter hair thing going on there, so pretty cool. But my favorite part of Jaden is if you look carefully, you can see, look at that. There's unicorns on Jaden's pajamas. So just for that, I really like this figure as well. So you also get this little monkey holding a wrench. I think the idea is that this is supposed to be Mr. Oz's like pet or something. And I really like the idea of the monkey holding a wrench. I'm assuming it's a monkey wrench. And you can take off this little bowl thing here, and that's supposed to be like his little air compartment. And then you can see his little printed face there. It looks really cute. And the last is this like dream demon. This dream demon is terrifying, honestly. I feel like you'd see this in like Arkham Horror Tales with like Cthulhu and everything. There's like a big bulging brain at the top, an eye, and then it's actually able to kidnap Jaden from their sleep and haul them away. That's it's pretty terrifying, LEGO. Good on you. It actually has pretty good grip too, so that's kind of cool. Look at that. So taking a look here, this is the car. You can kind of see it outlined in yellow, and then it has just a bunch of like classic space elements kind of all tacked around it. One feature it has is this little swivel thing where you can use this retractable arm to, I don't know, maybe pick stuff up. Maybe you can like fight the demon with it while Mr. Oz is driving the car, so that's kind of cool. And I believe you can actually put the monkey right here, so the monkey can be operating the claw and the little satellite there on the side. You can see it comes with these 4 giant wheels here that are represented as thrusters, as well as 2 more here in the front, which comes with these Gatling gun looking things. Look at that. I'm never gonna find those pieces. Moving along, it's really not that crazy of a build. So bags 1 and 2, you're gonna be building this car, and then bag 3, you're gonna be tacking on all these thrusters, or you're gonna be building the alternate build. Now let me tell you what I don't really like about this particular build. The instructions have you build this little doohickey here, which just uses the wheels that would normally go on the car, and it just kind of looks like a weird little Technic frame. The idea of this is it's supposed to be Albert's car for some reason, so I guess Albert can go on here and, you know, swoosh away. But it's just kind of a weird looking car that to me it seems just a little bit lazy. This is the kind of build I would just build with extra parts, which is exactly what it is. I did try to play around with maybe putting this on the actual large car, and there is like maybe one little connection point that you can maybe make it work. And it kind of looks like that. So you do have that option. It's not super sturdy, but if you wanted the spaceship to roll around like a car, you could do it. It just has to aim up a little bit. Now, before I build the alternate build, I do want to show you how the car actually looks. It's pretty easy. So all we gotta do is rip this out, rip all the wings. We're left with all these extra pieces here. I'll move those aside. And then you come to this weird little monkey car. And you're gonna grab these pieces too. And there you go, there's the basic car without any modifications to it. You can take off this blue canopy and you can add Mr. Oz in there. He actually fits quite well for having all that armor on. And he's good to go. Look at that. Whee! Whee! Now something that's really cool is this canopy piece. It's like this interesting translucent iridescent blue. It's actually really opaque. If I put it up to the camera there, you can probably barely make me out. So it's pretty opaque. Maybe he's really into like tinted windows. I don't know what he's hiding. But I think I actually really like having it as a car more than I like having all the space stuff on it. And now for my least favorite part, I'm gonna be unbuilding all these extra pieces and building the other alternate build here. And here's the alternate build. Like I said, it looks like kind of like a Mars rover. There's not a lot of traction on a hard surface, though on the carpet I think it would actually go pretty well. You can see some of those wheels won't even spin, but they do. You have the same base car here, and a lot of similarities between the first build and this one. You have a rotating turret, which is pretty cool. I lost all the studs in my last example, so just pretend they're there. And you can actually put your little monkey friend right on top of there as well. So it's pretty cool. Not a lot else going on here, just a lot of Technic framing that got added. But on the side, you get this little side build. I think this one is just a little bit better than the side build we saw in the first one, and you can actually put the monkey on there too, and now the monkey can fly through the sky. One thing I almost forgot to mention is that it was kind of a pain to unbuild the last build and build this one. This one was a little bit tougher than some of the other sets because it's all Technic that you're like unbuilding and rebuilding with, and kind of started to hurt my fingers a little bit. I had some problems trying to pull the wheels out of the socket here because the axle rod was just getting lodged in there pretty hard. So that's just something to look out for.
Zoe and Zion, the cat owl.
Now taking a look at Zoe and Zion, the owl cat, it's actually a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. It actually almost looks like the size of like a real kitten. It's a pretty big animal. First off is Zoe. You can see she has that weird avatar bow and arrow thing. This is actually my first bow and arrow like this. I don't really understand how it works. I believe you kind of go here and you like flick it, but it's kind of sad. I thought there'd be like a spring or something in there. She's holding a sand timer, which seems to be a big theme in this wave, and she has really good printing. She does have a back face as well that looks kind of smirky. I like her makeup a lot though. And next up is Cooper. He kind of looks like a Ninjago character when you really look at it. He has this really big Harley Quinn style hammer that it actually makes him fall down a lot of the times. So you have to like angle it just right, otherwise he falls over. The set also comes with a few demons. The first one here is Sneak, which is the weird bat chihuahua demon thing. And Sneak comes with a big chain. I think the idea here is that the demons are trying to capture the cat owl. Next we have this freaky dude. I think his name is Snivel. He's got that really big head that kind of looks like Thanos' head in the Thanos sets. It's just kind of like comedically large. He seems to have like some sort of spear or harpoon connected to a chain because he's also trying to capture the cat. And last we have Night Hunter. From what I can tell, this looks exactly like Night Hunter from the first wave of sets, but this is my first Night Hunter, and I think this is an amazing figure. He's really menacing, really terrifying. He has that crazy big witch hat with an eye there. You can take that off, and he just kind of has this black head with some scary looking eye prints. He has this scarf that like comes out almost like a hand. It's kind of terrifying. He comes with a crossbow with a literal eyesight attached to it, and then another chain, again, to try to capture the beast. Cooper also gets this mini bike. It's a pretty small bike, but I guess it gets the job done. Something interesting about this is you kind of have to put the flaps down, otherwise the bike will like tilt over. So that's just something to be wary of. Now taking a look at Zion. Zion has some really interesting details going on here. I really like the printed face. And then in this first build, you can see that you actually build like a crown. So in the second build, you make a different version of that like little crown piece. And I guess that's to signify that she's in a different configuration. She has these massive wings here on the side so she can fly. That's pretty cool. I really like this like energy piece, this giant green energy piece. I think her tail is really cute. I mean, it really just looks like a giant cat, which is pretty cool. And they did some pretty interesting techniques here for the legs that I kind of like. I really like the posability of the toes. That's pretty cool. Overall, there's not much else to say. It's a cat build and it does a pretty good job at that, so I'd have to give it credit for that. Now when you want to make the alternate version of this build, all you really need to do is remove the wings and this crown, and then you'll reconfigure that, and it looks almost like a weird peacock thing, so let's check that out. And here's the alternate build for the cat owl. It's really more of a cat peacock now, because we use those energy pieces here to represent like these giant feathers, which is kind of cool. And overall, really not much has changed. You just kind of swap this little like wing part out and change the crown a bit. So overall, pretty easy to convert this into the cat peacock from the cat owl. So something I totally forgot to mention was this little dude. So he's another floating eye thing, but he has like laser guns on the side, which are pretty cool. They actually shoot out a little bit. And you can put on this dude and you can kind of fly through the air. So there's just something else to consider.
The Sandmans Tower.
Taking a look at the Sandmans Tower, this is actually going to be the largest wave in this set. It's going to come with 5 minifigures, but it's also going to have some little characters on the side. With this, we actually get this really cool Sandman figure. This guy looks really cool. And I like this like little platform there, this little base where he kind of floats around. We've seen LEGO do similar stuff like that in the past. Next is one of the bad guys, the Never Witch. I don't know what exactly that means, but this is an amazing looking figure. I really love the dual molding in the hair with that black crown. And you can see there, she's got two faces. There's a lot going on. Those almost don't look like the same two faces. Again, really good torso printing, back printing, and toe printing. So again, LEGO Dreamzzz is definitely sparing no expense. Now we have this guy. His name is Logan. When you take a look at him, he's just blue, and I think he really likes hockey. In the instructions, you kind of learn that he's just another boy that's also falling asleep and going to the Dreams world. I do like on the back there, he has a little monsters written on his torso, which looks really cool. And there you go, he also has dual-sided face. Here's Matteo. He comes with a cape and a giant pencil, as well as this green belt, so he looks a little bit souped up compared to what you find in the other sets in this wave. I want to say that this pencil is supposed to like represent him dreaming, and he can maybe like write or erase different things in the Dream universe, and I believe that's the idea. Here is Izzy. She's really no different than what we find in the Narwal set, but again, just amazing toe printing as well as that dual molded legs, which is really nice. I'm still a really big fan of this like little translucent hair piece, which is really cool, and I like her sword as well. Now for the last character that you get, it's this little black dog slash dragon slash bat. I don't know what that is, but his name is Sneak, and he kind of reminds me of this little tiny black chihuahua I used to have as a kid. You also get a few of these little creepy spider things. So you get this massive one that has like a cauldron for a butt, which is pretty cool. You can actually fit Sneak in the back of it if you wanted to. And then you also get these two Lego spiders. Now, I always hear a lot of people talk about how these Lego spiders look a little too realistic. I'd have to agree with that. If you see these spiders just like on your floor or something, you're gonna think it's a real spider and try to squish it. Now, last is this little bird that Izzy rides. This is actually a pretty cool build. It looked pretty basic on the box. I wasn't like too excited about it, but now like taking a look at it, I'm a really big fan of this. It has a lot of articulations in the wings. You can pretty much swivel them any direction you want. Same on the back. It's got a little bit of articulation for the tail fin. And you even can move the feet a little bit too. That's pretty cool, huh? So again, just with all the articulation, you can actually tuck in the wings and you can actually like place the bird on the set somewhere. Now taking a look at this set. Now this set is actually really tall. I'd say it's about maybe almost 2 feet tall, just if I had to guess. The set utilizes a lot of this mustardy yellow color I mentioned before. And you can kind of see it comes off in like little tails or little like spouts like that. I think that's supposed to represent just like sand overflowing. The whole concept of this is like the sands of time and the sand temple. I do like that there's little gears here on the side. I believe that's supposed to kind of represent like a clock tower, as this actually is a quote-unquote functional clock tower. You can see if I spin this part right here, there's a little gear, and you can see that this part right here, which is supposed to be the clock, spins a little bit, so that's pretty cool. Of course, you'll notice that the top part also spins. What's actually interesting is there's a little sand timer in there. I really like the build they made for this sand timer. As for the front of the set, you get these two giant stickers on either side. I'm personally not a big fan of stickers in general, but it looks pretty nice. And then you have this functioning wooden door here, which does a good job. There's my finger. And then in the back, you can see you have plenty of room for all sorts of fun role playing. So this gives you plenty of room to put your characters in, so that way they're able to defend the tower from the bad guys and the spiders. Here's another look at that gear that you can turn on the side that causes this whole thing to spin like so. This is a really cool effect. After I built it, I probably spent like 5 minutes just spinning it around. There's a little bit more detail inside. You're able to use this telescope on the side. There's a few other clocks, sticker pieces, as well as some sand timers and sand timer sticker pieces. You can see here on the third floor, there's a book. Perhaps it's instructions on how to use the timer or the clock itself. The book does reference a purple crystal, which you do get in the back of this set. It's this little table thing here. It looks like there's some beakers as well as that amethyst looking crystal. I really like that amethyst crystal actually. Another interesting little side build is this kind of, I don't know if it's a weapons holder or maybe it's like some sort of thing you can target and practice your fighting with. Pretty cool, nothing special. So unfortunately we're coming down to my least favorite part of the set, and that has to be the fact that I want to make the second configuration that you see in the instruction book. However, I just don't want to tear this all apart, so it's a shame that I'm gonna have to tear it all apart. I might just end up taking this apart, building the second one, and then maybe building this one back again. And here's the second alternate build that you are able to make out of this set. You can see that it is very similar to the first set. Got a lot of the similar aspects and designs to it, like this clock that spins, this little power cell thing over here, and of course my favorite being the little sand timer. You're going to be using the same build from bags 1 through 4, and bags 5, 6, and 7 all have kind of different configurations depending on which alternate build you use. You'll see that internally here it looks exactly the same as it did in the first build, but now you have this little side terrace with a bridge that links you to this little power device. So I think the idea is that you can harness the power from this little doohickey over here. It channels into the clock, which can spin it around and shoot some sort of time weapon, I'm assuming, outside of the sand timer. Now, I do really like looking at this sand timer here that you build. It's kind of like fun. You can spin it around. Unfortunately, the studs in here don't move up to the top or anything like that. It would be really cool if you were able to do something like that, but I just don't think LEGO has the technology for that anytime soon. Otherwise, this build really isn't anything too much different than the other one. It is a lot shorter. It does make it a little bit easier to review because it's not as tall. Now, I want to build this up. You see, when you build the alternate version of the build, you're going to get all these little extra pieces here. So the same thing actually happened in the first build as well, but you can see that there's a lot of pieces here, a lot of large pieces that you normally wouldn't expect to see. So that's just something that's part of having alternate build. So because of that though, you might want to consider storing these parts separately in case you ever want to go back and build the other version of the build. However, these aren't like the rarest parts, so it might just be worth putting it back into your collection. Thanks for watching!